What's going on, guys? My name is Renegade, and today I'm connecting you guys with my final Gobblegum review for the DLC 1 Gobblegums, which includes Crawlspace and Fatal Contraption. Now, the reason why I'm putting these two together is because Crawlspace, does deserve its own video, but Fatal Contraption really doesn't because its effect is pretty much very, self-explanatory. Also, guys, I want to apologize that this video took so long to make, just that I had a difficult time getting Crawlspace and Fatal Contraption. I wanted to get both of them so I can have an honest review of what the Gobblegums do, and it wasn't as easy as Head Drama and Undead Man Walking because I got those literally in the first week of DLC 1, but I had to wait so much for Crawlspace and Fatal Contraption as well. Also, this might not be much of a bad thing because today is March 2nd and tomorrow, March the 3rd, which is a Thursday, DLC 1 finally comes out for Xbox One and PC. I think you guys are really going to enjoy it, so I think this might be kind of a good time because I guess if people want to look up what these Gobblegums do and don't really know, then this video will be waiting, I guess, at the top of the list, whatever. But anyways, guys, I'm finally glad to be coming at you guys with this video. So we started things off with Crawlspace. Now, in my opinion, Crawlspace is kind of the best overall Gobblegum to come out of DLC 1, excluding Fatal Contraption, because Fatal Contraption just spawns 2 death machines, and that effect is pretty good. But if we're just talking about effects that can be activated by the player, then Crawlspace is definitely the best one to come out of DLC 1. Now, just because this is the best Gobblegum to come out of DLC 1 and the best one out of the bunch of 4, that doesn't really mean it's an overall good Gobblegum. I mean, it is the best one to come out of the selection, but overall, it's not really an ideal Gobblegum that a lot of you are going to be using. So basically, its effect is that any zombies in your immediate area will be changed into crawlers upon activation of this Gobblegum. Now, that effect is kind of unique because you don't really find yourself needing it, but it can actually be a lifesaver. And also, one good thing about it is that it gets 5 uses. Now, even though this is probably the overall best effect to come out of DLC 1, once again, besides Fatal Contraption, that doesn't really mean it's good. So first of all, you cannot use this Gobblegum to wipe out a train, because let's say you're training on round 40, you're just training, doing your thing, you activate this Gobblegum on the current horde you have, and then they turn into crawlers, and then as you're trying to kill them, more zombies will spawn in, and then you'll have to start training again, but then you'll have some leftover crawlers, and then you might get stuck on them, and then you'll eventually die if you don't actually do well with this Gobblegum. So that's kind of a danger I found with it. If you guys are a really good player and are training in a really big area like in Shadows of Evil or something, then that won't really be a problem. But if you're playing somewhere on Rising Dragon and training in the main courtyard, there are some areas where you have to be really on your toes, and those areas can kind of be death traps with a bunch of crawlers everywhere. Now, the only other situation where I can even start to think that Crawlspace could be anywhere near useful is when you're trying to upgrade the Wrath of the Ancients into the Void Bow. Now, if you guys haven't tried to upgrade the Void Bow, there is one step where you need to sacrifice some crawlers, and if you're trying to do it and you're trying to upgrade it on really early rounds like round 1, 2, or 3, then it's kind of impossible to get crawlers because the zombies are so weak that a single grenade explosion can actually kill them instead of turning them into crawlers. And even then, you only need a few crawlers, so you don't really need all 5 activations of this Gobblegum. So overall, this Gobblegum is kind of the coolest one to come out of DLC 1, and like I said many times before, it is the most useful one. But just saying that, out of 4 Gobblegums, having only selection of those 4 Gobblegums doesn't really give it much compliments. Now, overall, I would give this Gobblegum a solid 6, maybe 5, maybe even 4 out of 10. Kind of the same rating as I gave Head Drama. I know in that Head Drama video I did make a big fuss about it, but I guess the only bad thing about Head Drama is that there's only 1 activation. If you guys get it on early rounds, then that can be kind of bad. But if you're like on round 30 and 40 and trying to zoom through the rounds because you're out of ammo on your wolf bow or electric bow, and I guess that's the only bad thing about it, that it only has 1 damn single activation. It would be way better if it wasn't auto activated and if you can have like 3 different uses or something like that. So overall, I would rate Crawlspace the same number out of 10 I did Head Drama. I don't actually remember right now, but I think I might have gave it a 4 out of 10, but that might have been my Undead Man Walking, so I can't even remember. But if you guys want to go check that, I think it was a 4 or 5 out of 6 or something like that. So even though, like I said before, it's the best thing to come out of DLC 1, it isn't really that good. Now, moving on to Fatal Contraption, I'm just going to review this Gobblegum very quickly because I'm going to stuff it in here with Crawlspace. Crawlspace. Overall, my feelings on it is that it's pretty damn good. I don't really use the Gobblegums that spawn, you know, max ammos, carpenters, and stuff like that. I really don't know why. I just like having effects that affect the zombies or the gameplay or affect the actual player. I just prefer those for some reason because I'm really weird. But anyways, the Death Machine in Black Ops 3 is definitely a step up from the Death Machine in Black Ops 1. First of all, you can sprint with it. That's really good because sometimes you'd get it unexpectedly, and then as you're pulling it out, you're trying to run away, but you can't really because you can only, you know, you can only walk with it. So you can just get swiped really easily by zombies while you're trying to run a train. And also, you can actually have the ability to put it away, which is really nice because sometimes, like I said before, you'll get it and you won't really want it, and you might be kind of in that close situation, and you just put it away and go right back to pulling out your bow or your upgraded weapon or something like that. Also, I believe when DLC 1 first came out, the Death Machine was kind of OP in some sense because it would still do a lot of work when most guns would stop working, like in the mid to high 40s, and it just did so much like efficient work. It was actually kind of crazy, but ever since then I think they nerfed it. But recently in the latest patch, I saw the patch note that said that it kind of buffed it because it wasn't working correctly on the higher rounds because they tried to nerf it, and I think they mistaken it. Now it was really bad on higher rounds, but now it might be a fair balance in between, but I don't even know, guys. The Death Machine is kind of it's kind of been nerfed, but then it's kind of been buffed, so I don't really know what's going on with it because I don't really use it that much. But anyways, guys, overall my thoughts on the DLC 1 Gobblegums is I believe they did something good. First of all, they didn't introduce a really good Gobblegum that was so OP that it was kind of unfair to players who didn't want to or weren't lucky enough to buy the DLC to be even able to try to unlock it from Dr. Mounty's factory. So I'm really glad that they did that there wasn't something that was OP. However, I do think that they kind of made them bad on purpose so people can think like, oh, at least it's not OP, and if you really want it, then I guess you can try to get it. You know, they would just think stuff like that. But I do think Treyarch accidentally made kind of really too bad Gobblegums. I mean, these Gobblegums are kind of bad. I really don't run them that much. I do have a lot of Undead Man Walking stacking up, and I don't even touch my head dramas. Honestly, I would exchange them for Perkaholics instead. But I guess that's kind of a good thing that they didn't make them like really insanely good, that people who didn't have it or people who didn't have DLC 1 to even get them for Dr. Mounty's factory, like I said before, you know, they weren't really feeling like they missed out or stuff like that. But also, I think they really did on purpose make really bad Gobblegums that it's almost not even worth it that you are actually able to get these DLC 1 Gobblegums, and instead they just block out more space of you trying to get more Perkaholics. But anyways, guys, there you guys have it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, then don't forget to drop a like down below, subscribe for more Black Ops 3 Zombies videos, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.